Noka. The Federal Capital Territory High Court in Maitama, Abuja has adjourned further hearing in the 19 counts charge of criminal diversion of $2.1 billion involving former National Security Advisor Colonel Sambu Dasuki and others. In the ruling of Justice Hussein Yusuf, it was disclosed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission that in a statement that the trial was adjourned till March 22nd following Dasuki's absence in court. Other defendants in the case include a former governor of Sokoto State, Atahiru Bafarawa, his son, Sager, a former director of finance and administration in the office of the NSA, Shoaibu Salisu, a former minister of state for finance, Bashir Yuguda, and Sager's firm, Dalhatu Investment. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has rejected the plea bargain of a former minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Jumoke Akinjide. The Anti-Graft Commission lawyer, Nemeke Omenwa, disclosed this, said the agency would instead proceed with the trial. At the last session of the court on February 6th, EFCC had admitted that it recovered the sum of 650 million naira allegedly laundered by Akijinde and two others. You will recall that the anti-graft agency had arraigned the former minister and two others for allegedly receiving 650 million naira cash from a former minister of petroleum resources, Desiani Madueke, in the build-up to the 2015 general elections. Northern senators have removed Abdullahi Adamu as chairman of the forum over alleged financial mismanagement of 70 million naira. Senator Shehu Sani, representing Kaduna Central, disclosed this to journalists after a letter sent to the Senate was read by the Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu just before the end of plenary.
This is from the Northern Senators Forum. The President of the Senate, Federal Republic of Nigeria, announcement of removal of Senator Abdullahi Adamu as Chairman, Northern Senators Forum. This is to inform the Senate that the majority signatories of members of the Northern Senators Forum, we have removed Senator Abdullahi Adamu as the Chairman of the Northern Senators Forum for financial mismanagement and maladministration. We announce his replacement with Senator Aliu Wamako immediately. Find the attached names and signatories of members.
Sani said the money belonging to the Northern Senators Forum in the custody of Abdullahi Adamu when he emerged as chairman could not be accounted for, giving an alibi that monkeys raided his farmhouse and made away with it.
The rumors going around, which I don't know whether it's true, but I believe most of the senators know, was the fact that there were allegations that some monkeys raided the farmhouse of some of the executives of the Northern Senators Forum and carted away some of this money. Now I think this country is becoming a whole joke. First of all, it was the rodents that drove away the president. And then we now have snakes consuming about 36 million.
When approached, Senator Adamu declined making any comment on the matter when he was contacted. The Inspector General of Police Monitoring Unit in Rivers State have discovered a baby factory in Owerri that specializes in camping teenage pregnant girls with the intentions of selling their babies after delivery. The State Police Command disclosed this to journalists when the suspects were paraded in the state.
Speaking with newsmen, the State's Commissioner of Police, Zaki Ahmed, represented by the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of the administration, Zaira Okoro, said the monitoring unit acted on credible intelligence information that the suspects conspired to sell a 2-month-old baby boy.
Conspiracy and child trafficking. Operatives of the IGP monitoring unit, led by ACP Bennett Igwe, acting on credible intelligence, arrested the following persons, namely Nkechi Uzoemene, female, Roslyn Oke, female. Rita, female.
The owner of the baby factory, known as Mercy Home Orphanage, Ngozi Egionu, claimed that the place is duly registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission and equally debunked the allegation of it being a baby factory.
In December, a girl, that one girl with the woman that she said that is her senior sister, her mom's senior sister, that she is an orphan, no mother, no father. She has 3 children out of wedlock. And then the one that pregnanted her, the one she's carrying, she doesn't know the person. And the baby was so sick, dying. She said she doesn't want this baby to die, that we should accept this baby from her.
So it's not at the beginning, I made the woman and he brought me for this woman. And this woman take care of me for this impediment. Like, I made this woman that instead of this my baby to die, let me carry the baby, and this is the person that will take care of the baby. So the woman of God called us. So the woman take us to make me rush the baby to hospital. We go to this police. From police we go to court. They snap us there. They snap us in that.
The Deputy Commissioner of Police called on residents to be vigilant about their surroundings and cooperate with the police to rid the states of crimes.
The Joint Admission and Matriculations Board, JAMB, has banned the use of 16 items in the forthcoming mock examinations scheduled for February 26, 2018. JAMB UTME Monitoring Group Secretary Ngozi Egbuna disclosed the items in a memo issued to members of the civil society group. The prohibited items includes wristwatches, pen, mobile phones or similar electronic devices, spy reading glasses which should be scrutinized, calculators or similar electronic devices, USB, CD, hard disk and or small similar storage devices. Others are books or any reading materials, cameras, recorders, microphones, earpieces, ink and pen readers, smart lenses, and jewelry, as well as smart buttons and Bluetooth devices. The Kwara State House of Assembly has passed a bill expanding areas where the manufacturing, sales, and consumption of liquor are prohibited into law in the state capital. The passage of the bill followed consideration of the report on the bill by the House on Wednesday. Under the law, no person will be allowed to produce, sell, store, or openly consume alcohol within specified areas in the metropolis. The bill proposes that any person who contravenes the provision will be guilty of an offense and liable of conviction to a fine not exceeding 100,000 or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months or both. The need to promote the heritage and culture in Africa has been brought to the fore at a conference on African origins. Some paramount rulers at the conference says history must be brought back and taught in documentary school. Culture is the art and custom that characterizes a society or nation. In Nigeria, historians and traditional rulers believe the youth of today knows little or nothing about Nigeria's history, positing that the cultural values have been eroded owing to foreign influences and ignorance. At this conference, these paramount rulers lend their voices on the importance of empowering the new and incoming generations with African true genetic and cultural history.
If you don't know our history, if you don't know our heritage, we're deceiving ourselves. There is no nation in the world that has grown without the heritage, the culture, and tradition of that nation. Look at Japan. They did not jettison their heritage. Look at China. Look at India. Even the United States of America, that it converged. They picked a particular heritage and tradition, which is their diversity. What are we coming together to stand for? United we stand, divided we fall.
A country without history has nowhere to go to. You let people to tell you your own history, and they'll tell it the way they like. History is no more taught in schools. or seriously. Most of you have read history of Guru, the Benin Empire, or all the empires that existed before now. But some of our young men don't know anything about the kings of their kingdom, how they came about. The best thing that we're doing now to promote our culture, promote homogeneity, to try as much as possible to say that we'll come of age and that we can do things for ourselves.
The speakers also look at the new scientific evidence on origins of African culture and Nigerian people at large.
Culture being the principal aspect, driver of development, we think ultimately about philosophy as the core of culture. And at this point, we are also interested in the autonomous mind, what the human mind can create. This is the basis of what then drives evolution, development, etc. We cannot throw away some of the things that have come to us, modernity and Christianity and Islam, but it's our duty to combine these things in the best possible ways with our tradition for our well-being.
Namely, when you talk of the Fulani or the Hausas who came in, they came on this platform and they believe that we are backward, we are pagan, our systems are barbaric. Now, unfortunately, we have not been able to intellectualize and articulate our platform as that no, our platform is not backward. We have a system based on 16 by 16, which comes to 256. Now, this is a system that was created 7,000 years ago. For the latest technology in the world, the computer system is based on that same 256 pulses. So I don't know how we get to when you say Yoruba culture, Igala culture is backward.
The stakeholders believe a well-articulated cultural identity and interrelationships of original Africans is necessary to improve cultural pride, improve work ethics, and will also serve as basis for political unity. 12 out of 20 local government areas of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Lagos State have passed a vote of no confidence on the state chairman, Moshood Salvador. The vote of no confidence was passed on the chairman today at the party's Badagry Divisional Assembly held in Festac area of Lagos State. More details in this report.
That we hereby pass a vote of no confidence in the person and the office of Honorable Moshood Salvador as the state chairman of PDP in Lagos State. He seeks to be our chairman. So we have all agreed. Is that all we have agreed? Today, a vote of no confidence has been passed on Moshood Salvador by majority, by the excellent majority of party members in Badagry Division of West Senatorial District.
They also speak on the rationale behind their decision for the state chairman to step down.
High-handedness, maladministration, and impunity of the highest order. So those three are enough constitutionally to unseat anybody holding a political office at the party level.
I'm very much in agreement. And in fact, as a matter of fact, this chairman we are talking about, Moshood Salvador, was not voted for. He came in through acclamation of the members. And when the dissolution came, it was supposed to affect everybody. But unfortunately,
he refused, Otaku, he refused to leave the place. And that is why everybody is very, very annoyed. And we are here to tell the world that he's not one of us.
He was not voted for. He's a selected chairman. Nobody voted for him. So if people that said they selected him, they said they don't want him again, there's nothing anybody can do about that.
You're still watching SuperScreen News at 8. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll take some news from the business scene. Do stay with us. Welcome back to SuperScreen News at 8. On the business scene, the Accident Investigation Bureau has begun investigation into Tuesday's Dana Air incident at the Port Harcourt Airport. AIB spokesman Tunji Oketumbi, who disclosed this, said a team from the Bureau, led by the Director of Operations, Deyabu Danraka, is already on ground in Port Harcourt for investigation into the incident. The team is expected to unravel the remote and immediate cause of the incident and make recommendations to forestall future occurrence. The investigation followed official report of the incident by the airline to AIB. You will recall that the Dana aircraft with registration number 9J0363 flying from Abuja to Port Harcourt Airport skidded off the runway at the Port Harcourt International Airport. A bill for an act to amend the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2018 has passed through second reading at the Senate. The amendment bill before the Senate seeks to compel the Central Bank of Nigeria to submit its annual budget to the National Assembly in the course of the annual appropriation bill or subsequent one for transparency and accountability in the operations of the bank.
The CBN governor acts as the chairman of the CBN board, and this is not in accordance with the principles of corporate governance, which advocates the separation of roles of the chairman of board and the governor to ensure appropriate internal checks and balances. In most developed countries, to ensure accountability, banks are supervised by a board.
I want to advise, Mr. President, for the spirit of accountability and even to check corruption. It is good these two offices are separated, and you will be able to now have proper oversight by our relevant committees of the Senate over the CBN.
Some of the key issues in the bill are that it also seeks to amend the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2018 to appoint a person other than the governor as the chairman of the board. Other lawmakers share different views.
There is nothing wrong in the governor of CBN also being chairman. I think by the fact of what has been written in this paper, we have ended up even indicting ourselves.
Not to begin an example that will later haunt us.
The issue of bringing the CBN budget here is already settled under the Fiscal Responsibility Act. Because if you go to Section 21 of that Act, it says that the central bank and other government parastatals and agencies listed in the schedule, about 21 of them, will submit the annual budget to the Minister for Finance.
Those were lawmakers deliberating on the CBN Amendment Act of 2018. Moving on, the Naira closed at 362 per United States dollar at the parallel market on Wednesday, 2 days after the Central Bank of Nigeria injected $210 million into the foreign exchange market. The local unit had closed at $363 on Tuesday. The Naira has been trading between 360 and 363 in recent weeks as the CBN continues to intervene in the market once or twice on a weekly basis. The regulator had injected over $500 million into the forex market between penultimate Friday and last Monday. Analysts have said that the Naira is likely to remain stable against the greenback this week as the demand for the U.S. currency weakens whenever the unit trades below 360 Naira to $1. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll take some news on the foreign scene and some sports stories, as well as Anthony standing by for some entertainment stories. Stay with us. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. And on the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump has been slammed for suggesting that teachers should be armed to help prevent school shootings. Trump made the divisive proposal during a listening session with survivors of last week's mass shooting at a Florida high school. Following the remarks, families of the victims of gun violence, survivors of mass shootings, gun control advocates, teachers and some politicians called the idea terrible and said the administration should focus on reforming gun control legislation in the country. Pakistan's Supreme Court has ruled that former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif cannot head the country's ruling party. The court's decision on Wednesday comes months after Sharif was deemed unfit to hold public office over corruption allegations and forced to step down. A subsequent law, known as the Election Act of 2017, was passed by the ruling Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz Party last year, which allowed Sharif to retake his post as party leader despite the charges leveled against them. In the decision, the court ruled someone disqualified under the tenets of the Pakistani constitution cannot hold a public office. And for some sports stories now, Russia Premier League club FC Khabrovsky has announced the signing of former Super Eagles centre-back Dele Adelaye without stating the duration of his contract. Adelaye's arrival was announced on the official website of the club on Thursday. The club currently occupied the last position in the 16-team Russian Premier League table with 12 points from 20 games. Adelaye has been without a club since it was declared surplus to requirements by Kazakhstani outfit Aktov at the end of last season. He has previously played for Russian clubs Anzi Makhachkala and Robin Krasnodar. CSKA Moscow has confirmed Nigerian striker Samuel Aaron and his move to Russian league side Amkapam until the end of the season. CSKA Moscow made the announcement on their official club website on Thursday. Samuel has struggled for playing time for CSKA in the current campaign, making 7 league appearances, scoring just 1 goal in the matches CSKA has played so far. Now I'll hand you over to Anthony, who is standing by for some entertainment stories.
Hello there, this is the Entertainment News Tonight. I am Anthony Usaibovu. Here, pop artist Bankole Wellington, also known as Banky W, via his Instagram page, has announced the rebranding of his record label, Empire Mates Entertainment, EME. The singer said EME is now a full-fledged media agency that will focus on creating marketing, advertising, PR, brand events activation, and a talent management firm. He also added that the agency is not restricted to music artists but will also cater for creative people in other areas such as sports, radio, television, and acting. Banky W named his wife Adesua Etomi Wellington, DJ Exclusive, Ebuka Obi Uchendu, and Tolu Tools Oniru as the first set of clients of the rebranded company. Here, Nigerian veteran entertainer Charles Oputa, also known as Charlie Boy, has led the Mumudondu movement on a peaceful protest to the headquarters of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, over lingering fuel scarcity across the country on Wednesday, February 21st. The self-acclaimed area father has said for over 3 months, Nigerians have endured agonizing fuel scarcity, which has caused a hike in prices of commodities, costs for transportation, and wasted of man-hours spent on queues daily at petrol stations. According to reports, leaders of other civil societies groups also joined the Mudondu peaceful protest. The group handed a letter containing its grievance and demands addressed to the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Maikantu Baru, Head of Group Public Affairs Division of the corporation, Undu Ugamadu, who received the letter, assured the group that their demands will be looked into accordingly. And lastly, tonight, the Association of Music Artists Managers of Nigeria, AMEN, has said it wants to mend fences regarding the ongoing tussle between supporters of Tony Okoroji and Efe Omorigbe as leaders of the Copyright Society of Nigeria, COSON. This follows reports that the Nigeria Copyright Commission, NCC, has annulled the return of Okoroji as chairman of the society. You will recall that Okoroji was returned as COSON chairman at a general meeting held in December last year, which was a few days after Efe Omorigbe was installed by the board of COSON. According to a statement from AMEN, the association on a fact-finding mission met on February 13th with Tony Okoroji and his team. A week later, it met with Efe Omorigbe and Joel Ajayi on ways to resolve the ongoing crisis. The regulatory body added that it will act within its oversight functions to examine the books of COSON and advise the appropriate. But that wraps it up for the entertainment scene. I am Anthony Osaibovo. Over to the main news anchor, Olamide Omuka.
And with that, we've come to the end of today's News at 8. I am Olamide Omuka. On behalf of the entire production team, have a fantastic night. It is bye for now.